Race 1 about to get underway here at Twin Ring Motegi. It's Michelis aboard his Honda, who starts from pole position alongside Rob Huff, an all-Honda front row. Then it is Thed Bjork and Nicky Katzberg on second row. Nestor Girolami, the new boy from Argentina, aboard the Volvo, is starting from 5th place. Tom Chilton rounds out the third row and the top 6. The grid force and all eyes aboard the red lights. When the green goes, we'll be down to turn 1. Who's it going to be? Norby Michelis, Rob Huff, or can the Volvo of Thed Bjork or the Lada of Nicky Katzberg get involved into turn 1? The green flag waves. We're about to get underway. Red lights on. And race 1 is go here in Japan, and it's a slow start by the looks of things from the Volvo of Thed Bjork. Tom Chilton's flying up the inside. As it stands, Norby Michelis and Rob Huff lead into turn 1, and then it's pretty much everyone else into third position. Who's that? Which Volvo is that? That's Bjork, has managed to fight off Tom Chilton, Matt, and for all money and it looked as though Tom was going to get that third position. He's going to get hung out to dry here if he's not careful on the outside. There's a Honda coming through. Thiago Montero, I think that was up to third place.
Katzberg put a nice clean move down the inside of one of the Citroens into turn 3.
Chilton under pressure further back again, and I think that is Nicky Katzberg. Michelis leads from Huff, then it's Thed Bjork, Thiago Montero and Chilton fighting the yellow Lada of Katzberg, who manages to stay on the circuit, and poor old Tom Chilton hung out to dry again. He just keeps finding himself on the outside.
Oh, Katzberg's making great progress. I know with Chilton's been hung out as that. Oh, he gives him a bit of elbowing.
Ivan.
Chilton's got the inside line into here though.
So that's Ivan Muller and Tom Chilton, the two Citroen drivers fighting it out, the Sebastian Loeb car and the factory car of Ivan, and you can see Tom's going to find himself yet again on the outside. This opening lap just hasn't worked for him, and Jose Maria Lopez giving us a fascinating insight into the rear of that Citroen, and Chilton loses that spot to Ivan Muller, and now he's got the attentions of Jose Maria Lopez to contend with, but he slots back into line. I think that's the first corner, turn 11, where he's been on the racing line.
Well, yeah, I thought Lopez was going to drop onto the back of Muller and use the slipstream, but they got a lovely little view, better than they can normally allow us of their rear underfloor, and the double floor there. But dream start from the two Hondas. Huffy has put his marker down pre-race that he really wanted to win this. So if he's going to do that, he's got his work cut out with Michelis, because the one thing Honda need is a Honda across the line first, especially in the home race. So they can't afford anything to go wrong. So it's whether they're going to be told to stand status quo or, oh, Valente off again.
Yeah, Hugo Valente. There was a yellow flag out in the third sector, and I'm not sure if we've lost James Thompson as well. I'll confirm with you. I might not be on the money there, but I think James Thompson, is he still running? It's Hugo Valente. Fitzer started from the pit lane. I don't think he's got going because poor old Fitzer.
Yeah, Tomo's out. He's in, but he's down the back of the queue.
Right, so Tomo further back, but Fitzer was meant to start 17th. He had an oil issue, engine issue on the grid, so he got rolled off, and I think he's
now
in the lane.
grid actually. I think Fitzker was stuck in the vent. We saw Daniel Nagy in the other Zenga Motorsport. Oh, he's been in the wall, hasn't he?
Plenty of damage to Valente's car. And we're looking at another Lada, Nicky Katzberg. Katzberg up to 5th position now. He's got the Honda of Thiago Montero ahead of him. Then it's Thed Bjork in the lead Volvo. And a Honda 1-2 early on in this opening race. Perfect for the bosses on home territory, Matt.
It's hard to appreciate the temperatures here today, and you know, the extreme temperature, not just outside the car, but inside the car. Katzberg driving through the pain barrier is his gear shift, because the gear lever is metal in these race cars, was getting so hot it was burning his hand yesterday, so he was having to have treatment on that last night, and got it well wrapped up this morning.
I mean, for those of you at home that haven't driven a race, you just cannot comprehend that. That is like touching a boiling pan every time you want to touch gear. If you're burning your hand through a Nomex glove, it's incredible.
Through a multi-layer Nomex glove, you're burning your hand, and you're not. it's not a constant holding. You're shifting, then letting go of it and back onto the steering wheel. So yeah, it's hard to appreciate the heat as well as your feet as well. You know, from the tunnel.
So Thedbrook now catching up to Rob Huff, and any aspirations of the two Hondas getting away from that Volvo starting to diminish in the early stages of this race. And that Volvo has been very quick, mainly in the hands of Nesta Girolami over the practice sessions, certainly, and qualifying. It's got no weight on it, the only car to carry no weight. Could be a thorn in the side for the Hondas, because the Hondas for the first time this year, Matt, up to the maximum of 80 kilos alongside the Citroën cars.
Yeah, Girolami has been the speed merchant of weekend so far, but he's bottled up in 10th place at the moment. We could see him having a look at Mid-Banani there, but and he's got speed. He's just got to look for the opportunity. It's maybe with because the Citroëns also are carrying that maximum 80 kilos, and that is going to really take its toll on them over a race distance. You know, it's going to take its toll on the brakes and the tyres. So with the lightweight Volvo carrying 0 kilos, he should be able to make his way forward from there. And Bjorg in the other Volvo, he's right up there in 3rd place. So, but again, he's 80 kilos lighter than the Hondas, so he should be able to start. You know, as the laps click away, he should be able to start putting him under pressure.
3 laps in, and Norby Michelis, last year's pole sitter, going well at the front. And that's an outright pole position. Today he did start from the reverse grid pole position. But Rob Huff's got his mirrors full of Thedbjorg and Swede in that Volvo, starting to look ominous now. Good drive from Rob Huff out of the last corner. He crosses the line, and he's got some breathing space into turn 1 as the Volvo mechanics from the Polestar Shun Racing team look on, and Thedbjorg very close to the back of the JAS Honda of Rob Huff.
Big lock up from the Bees. Bjorg sets the fastest lap of the race again. A second lap on the bounce, so the Swede has struggled for pace all weekend, but he's certainly found his mojo. Now we're into race 1.
Norby Michelis leads from Rob Huff, Thedbjorg the top 3. Then it's Thiago Monteiro, lead Lardo, Nicky Katzberg is 5th. Ivan Muller now in the lead factory Citroën up to 6th, ahead of his teammate Jose Maria Lopez. And they're just starting to move away from Tom Chilton in the Sebastian Loeb Racing Citroën. Yeah, I knew it began with C. We'll get it up. Mehdi Banani is 9th, and Nesta Girolami, and the Girolami, who has been incredibly quick, nestled back to 10th, and it'll be interesting to see if he can come back through the field as these laps tick down. And this is the opening race. We've got the main race straight to come, Matt, and there is an element of protecting what you've got underneath you for that main race. You can't risk too much in these early stages.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Honda tactics now. Honda really want the... Okay, we've got 2 Castrol cars, two Honda liveried cars, but they're all under the Yas banner and all under the Yas team and all working as one team. So obviously we want a Honda, or they want a Honda across the line first. It depends how much they're going to work as a team. If they can allow Michelis to make a break while Huffy holds Bjorg up, and then Thiago's behind Bjorg, if they can sort of sandwich the Volvo and try to keep him busy while Michelis makes some air, because for sure that Volvo's going to come stronger as the race progresses.
Gregoire Moustier onto the naughty step, drives the penalty for him. So the Belgian driver causing a collision down in 13th. That's going to hinder any chances that he had of points.
Oh, I wonder whether he's a guilty party for the big hole in the side of Hugo Valente's Lada. Muller just looking at the inside of Katzberg here.
You don't want to give Ivan Muller too much of a sniff of the inside. Nicky Katzberg has to be careful, because any invitation Ivan gets, and he'll be right up alongside you, taking that position away from you. Ivan, one of the drivers with unbelievable cut control, but also robust racecraft.
Very robust. He can be all sorts. But some quite dark clouds looming over now, you know, which won't add to the humidity, but the risk of rain potentially, you never know.
You never quite know in these parts of the world. Tropical storms can come very quickly. It was raining midweek in Tokyo, just 100 kilometers away, heavily on the lead up to this race. So things can change, and it is very, very muggy here in Japan. A quick hello to Mick Ford on Twitter. Happy Father's Day to those of you in Australia. And you can reach us on Twitter at Tom Gaymore, Gaymor, or at Matt Neal Racing. Any questions you have, we'll try and get them out. But happy Father's Day, and thanks for watching over in Australia. Replay of the start, and it was a good start in the end from the front row. And Thed Bjork was under immediate pressure from Tom Chilton behind, but he managed to be very aggressive around the outside. For all the money, I thought Tom Chilton was just going to get that position, and that was the start of Tom's woes, because he just had such an unlucky first lap, being caught out on the outside for the opening handful of corners.
Yeah, the two Sebastian Loeb drivers were right up there into sort of 4th and 5th positions, and now they've slipped back to 8th and 9th here, so I'm not too sure what happened in that one there.
Just looking there, Nesta Girolami really struggled off the line there as well.
Banani's in the pits?
Yeah, that was a false start, I think.
All right.
Mehdi Banani, let's... car 25. Yeah, Mehdi Banani, false start, but both the Volvo still off the line. Here comes Jose Maria Lopez up the inside of his teammate Ivan Muller. He left that incredibly late. Muller saw him coming, gave the Argentine some room, and Lopez just gave him a little tap there just to push him wide, not too wide, but
just to finish the job off.
Just to finish the job off, exactly there. Right, smart from Matt Neal, and I think Ivan won't be spitting feathers, but he won't be smiling inside that Citroen. Jose Maria Lopez with a good move on his teammate, and probably now focusing his attentions on Nicky Campbell, basically saying, you know, you had a few laps to get by, you haven't, let me go forward.
No, Tom, Ivan won't be happy at that. He will not be a happy Frenchman inside the helmet. He was just sort of lining Katzberg up, thinking where he can have a go, because
so Bjork's hit Rob Huff, and Rob Huff reporting to his pit crew that that Honda is damaged, and Thed Bjork without damage to his car, but Thiago Montero is right in the hunt now. Look at this. And we see, wow, that was Ivan at turn 1. So that's
what slowed it.
Yeah, that's what slowed Ivan and allowed Jose Maria Lopez to catch up, and Ivan Muller and Katzberg very close to contact at turn 1. And further up the road, Thiago Montero has now caught Thed Bjork, and Rob Huff reporting damage, but hasn't slowed him too much, Matt.
No, it doesn't look as though it's slowed Huffy. But all this scrapping is allowing Michelitz to make a break and get some air. So even if Borg does manage to clear, if and when he does manage to clear Huffy, he's going to have his work cut out to try and reel Michelitz in.
Halfway stage, or just over, in the opening race here at Twin Ring Motegi, and we've got a Volvo in a Honda sandwich. Thed Bjork now, slightly different approach for the Swede, because he can't be as aggressive as he was a second ago, with Thiago Montero right there, and Montero looking very quick at this stage. He's arguably the quickest Honda of the weekend so far.
He has. I mean, and they are running some quite, I've been saying the Volvo's going to get stronger, but they have been running some quite big cambers on this car, which isn't going to help tyre wear. So, they're up to sort of 8 degrees of rear camber, which is massive amount, almost to say, we're a bit lost, or, where are we going from here? But they've been getting some performance, but that isn't going to help his...
Does that affect tyre wear, the temperature of the tyre?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because you start to cook up the inside shoulder when you're on the straights and not in the corners. But Katzberg still managing to hold the two Citroens at bay. That they got Eureka engines in those larders, and then they're not short of grunt. It's always been straight line speed has been a big plus point for the Citroens, but they don't seem to have any advantage over Katzberg today, and he's not. Oh, Montero going for a good lunge from a long way back there.
Cracking start from Thiago Montero, the Portuguese driver, down at turn 11, a downhill braking zone, very difficult to get the car stopped, and Thed Bjork having a look into 12. That could have got messy, because 2-1 doesn't go through turns 13 and last corner turn 14, but as it stands, Thiago Montero dumps the Honda out of the top four. Top three, I should say. So we've got a Honda 1, 2, 3 at Twin Ring Motegi, and this is exactly what the bosses at Honda wanted on home territory. This is a Honda venue, and the engineers deep in conversation now because Bjork does not have the pace he had earlier on in the race, and if anything, starting to go backwards in the later stages. Is it a tyre issue, or has he got damage from when he hit?
It can only be a tyre issue. I mean, he should be getting stronger as the race goes on, but you know, with weight advantages, he's got an 80-kilo weight advantage over these Hondas, so he should be kinder on his car and his brakes and everything. But Thiago just caught him fast asleep. Then he wasn't having a quick nap; he was having an afternoon siesta at that point, you know, and left the door wide open, and Montero didn't need to be asked twice.
He came from a long way back and into a downhill braking zone as well, and when you hit the brakes downhill with all that weight, the extra weight that the Honda's carrying, just feels as though the car's never ever going to stop. Thiago Montero did get it stopped, rotated, and through turn 11 very, very well. You're looking at Rio Mishigami and the pit crew, Tom Coronel.
You can always count on Coronel's pit crew to come up with something amusing, but just a bit of info. A lot of the cars there now were a good 2 seconds off the pace of their fastest lap early on. But Bjorg on that last lap, okay, he did have a bit of got overtaken, but he's 4 seconds off. So no wonder Montero's having a go at him. And is this?
This is Bjorg, Nicky Katzberg, and the 2 Citroens. So we have a 4-way scrap for 4th place, and Bjorg going backwards. There's no 2 ways about it. The 3 Hondas moving away from the blue Volvo. Nicky Katzberg now having a look up the inside into turn 1. Here comes Jose Maria Lopez. And Lopez with a huge championship lead, can't throw it away. He gets up the inside of Katzberg. Katzberg didn't make it that difficult for the Argentine, I think. And there's contact. You could just see the 2 there. Jose Maria Lopez looked as though he's being turned around there.
And Muller's through as well. So Katzberg has gone from the attacker to the victim there.
And you can see the damage, Matt, on the rear of Jose Maria Lopez's car. That was a big, big love tap between Lopez and Katzberg. We're on board with the Argentine, but look at the rear of his car now.
Oh yeah, he's had a good hit, hasn't he? I thought it was part of the colour screen.
Yeah, so he's pushed Katzberg wide, and then Katzberg's had a bit of a go at the Argentine. On board with Katzberg here. Let's have a look.
Yeah, he just snags a break there, runs wide. Lopez is giving a bit of, I think it's just, gets a bit skew-iffy coming off the curb, and well, that's the excuse I'd use.
We're on board with Lopez initially, and you could just see the car rotate on the onboard camera.
I think Lopez is lucky. He's caught, it's a flesh wound. He's caught him not on the wheel, you know, because it's easy to break the reel or knock the rear tracking out on these things.
So it's Bjork, who's the cork in the bottleneck, if you like.
You just pushed me off fucking asshole.
You can always count on Katzberg with a good description of what's happened.
A graphic description of what he feels of Jose Maria Lopez is driving there. And yeah, Ivan Muller giving Lopez a few taps now through the slower corners, and Bjork still lives to fight another day. And Lopez and the 2 Citroens.
You're joking, Katzberg's getting a black flag for unsafe rejoin of the circuit.
Well, it looks as though he did dart across, but I agree with you there. I think that what's happened is it's gripped up, hasn't it? And he's gone across.
And he was pushed off by Katzberg as he's coming back on. So, I mean, Katzberg was pushed off by Lopez. Okay, he was helped off, and it did come off, but the stewards need to get in and drive a race car and experience that, because I don't agree with that call at all.
It is only just a warning flag, though, so that's worth pointing out. No
well, it's saying on the screen that it's a black flag, so he's getting one.
But it's a black and white flag. Yeah.
Right, unsafe rejoin. Oh, right, that's just a warning.
Right, Bjork has been pushed down the order. A nice move from Jose Maria Lopez early on in the lap, and Ivan Muller now follows him through. And Nicky Katzberg has not been able to regain his rhythm. He's next up behind Ted Bjork. And then it is Tom Chilton, Nestor Girolami. So Chilton recovering well, up to 8th now.
You can see Muller backing the car into 7 there with the rear steer and just sort of coming around and running a lot of rear brakes. Just get the rear moving, try and look after those front tyres.
Missed the apex there, didn't he?
Back through 10.
Now it's
onto the old start-finish straight.
Yeah, exactly. Still used occasionally, I think, for the support series.
Now Chilton's moved up into this mix as well. He's moved up behind Katzberg as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's recovered really well, and he's taking Nestor Girolami with him. And Ted Bjork and Nicky Katzberg have rejoined their battle, albeit slightly further down. That's our leader, Norbert Michelis, looking comfortable out front. 3 laps to go. Rob Huff is in 2nd place. Then it's Thiago Montero. And interestingly, Montero not put too much into Rob Huff's lead that he had over the 3rd place man whilst we've been watching the scrap here. And Jose Maria Lopez starting to take Ivan Muller forward now. Further back, Rio Mishigami. And if you haven't heard that name again, the 43-year-old Japanese star brought into the Honda squad for this round. And he hasn't been too busy, has he, of years gone by, but he's certainly been a stalwart. 51 podiums, 11 wins across Japanese touring car, Super Formula and Super GT. Rio Mishigami 11th, Tom Coronel 12th. Mishigami's probably done plenty of laps around this Honda venue, as has that Civic Type R.
Plenty of laps, and he's actually been used to sitting on the other side of the fence as he's been running his own race team. Dragon Racing in Super GT and Super Racing in Japan over here the last 3 years.
So bring up this point. Yeah, put it down.
Not quite sure what was being said there, but fairly cool, calm. There's Tom Coronel fan in the grandstands.
Coronel's made progress after the engine woes in qualifying, or yesterday in free practice. He had to fit a new engine, which meant he got a 10-place grid penalty, which was ostensibly throwing him on the back of the grid. But he's made cracking progress since then. He's up to 12th now, and he's obviously got the factory Honda in his sights now.
Car 9, Tom Coronel under investigation, so maybe that's what the radio call was all about. On board with the Lada Vesterov, Gabriele Tarquini, now on board with the new boy, Argentine Nestor Girolami, and that's Tom Chilton ahead. Girolami is in 9th spot. Montero now up to the back of Rob Huff. That's going to be an interesting battle with just 2 laps effectively to go.
Yeah, if Montero's going to have a go at Huffy, it's got to be a nice clean move, because you know, Honda can't afford slip-ups on this one, not with a potential 1, 2, 3 in the hands.
Yeah, Lopez has gapped Ivan, so they're 4th and 5th. Norbert Michelis leads from Rob Huff, Thiago Montero. Then it's Lopez and Muller. Ted Bjork and Nicky Katzberg are 6th and 7th. Then we're looking at Tom Chilton, Nestor Girolami from on board Gabriele Tarquini. So they are 8th, 9th and 10th. And this is a nice little battle going into the last lap and a half.
You can see that Volvo pull away with the weight advantage that it's got. But the 2 cars on the move at the moment are the 2 factory Citroens of Lopez and Muller. And they are half a second quicker than anything else on the circuit at the moment. So it's a shame they couldn't have cleared Katzberg and co early on, so they could give the Hondas a little bit more pressure. But I reckon Lopez is going to be breathing down the back of Montero come the final.
Yes, so Thiago giving his pit crew the hurry up, because it's important he finishes ahead of Jose Maria Lopez in the points battle, and it's important that he gets a bit of a buffer. So ideally for the Portuguese, he would like to finish ahead of Rob, and for Rob to also finish on the rostrum ahead of Jose Maria Lopez. But with the pace of Lopez, the last Thiago Montero wants is a battle in the last few corners with the Argentine.
Well, what he definitely doesn't want is Huffy to start going defensive.
Can you let me do my job, please?
Rob Huff.
Let me do my job. Well,
That was a short shift answer. Norman Michelis on the final lap. He's up the road, and now it's Rob Huff and Thiago Monteiro battling it out into turn one. Jose Maria Lopez follows. Then Ivan Muller, Ted Bjork and Nicky Katzberg still ahead of Tom Chilton, Nesta Girolami. Will it finish that way? I mean, if Ted Bjork does finish ahead of Nicky Katzberg and Tom Chilton, fair play to the lead Volvo driver. I know he's gone backwards, but sixth place, a good return, and he's been in the wars.
yeah, you can see Huff, he's struggling to hang on there. He's back in car into turn one, but I would imagine Rob's going to be a little bit irritable because, you know, he desperately wants to win this race for Honda. You know, first time here, he's won here before with Lada, so you know, and to see Michelet disappear off into the distance after he has had a bit of a scrap and has a, you know, Katzberg did get stuck into him, I think, a bit at one point. So, you know, to be part of the Honda 1-2-3 is going to be a dream start to the day for them anyway.
Well, it couldn't have started any better, this race day for Honda, because at 1, 2, 3, I know it's the reverse grid, but it didn't look that likely going through the free practice sessions and qualifying. So they've done their homework, and they've
well, and they came in 80 kilos as well.
Well,
so
I mean,
they were coming in here with a few long faces this weekend. They've been walking around thinking, well, this is going to be a tough task to even get on the podium, never mind get some race wins, and suddenly they're still locking the whole thing out in race one.
Well, that's what we're talking about during qualifying and free practice. It didn't look as though they were carrying that 20 kilos as well as they wanted to. They needed to get used to it. They have got used to it, and Norman Michelis is out of the last corner. He's going to cross the line to record his first win of 2016. The Hungarian wins the first race here at Twin Ring Motegi. Rob Huff second, and Thiago Monteiro crowns a Honda 1-2-3 at Honda's very own Twin Ring Motegi venue. A perfect start, a fairy tale for the Japanese mark. They're ahead of the two Citroens, Jose Maria Lopez and Ivan Muller, who finished 4th and 5th. Ted Bjork did hang on in 6th from Nick Katzberg. Tom Chilton, Nesta Girolami and Gabriele Tarquini finished thereafter, rounding out the top 10. Wasn't the most exciting race out front, but really what Honda wanted coming into this weekend.
Yeah, look at that. Fantastic formation finish for Honda. But they were lucky it wasn't a few laps longer with the Citroens coming, but great start.
Welcome back to Twin Ring Motegi. We've just seen a Honda 1-2-3 in the opening race of this 9th round of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. It was good stuff out front, and if anything, a few others in the wars further back. None more than Jose Maria Lopez, who raced hard to his 4th place.
Well, Lopez made great progress from where he started at the back end of the top 10. So he was probably on it, and at the end, you know, those Citroens, they just got, even with the weight they were carrying, the 8 kilos, they were just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So I imagine Honda's quite pleased, not just at the result, but seeing that flag hanging out.
There is your race winner, Norby Michelis, the Hungarian, with his first World Touring Car win of 2016, and he'll be pleased with that. He was on overall pole position here in 2015, the World Touring Car Championship, visiting Twin Ring Motegi for the 2nd time, and the first time we visited the circuit was, of course, last year. That man didn't manage to get on the top step at the rostrum, but he has this time around, courtesy of the reverse grid pole position. Now, Matt, if not watched World Touring Cars, explain what's going to happen now between the opening race and the main race.
Well, now that it varies a little bit. Sometimes the cars will go into parc fermé where they're not allowed to touch them until they get a refresh period. You can see how thin the gauge of the metal is on the roof of that Civic Type R, but all the other cars get put into parc fermé, which is basically the cars are sealed, no one's allowed to touch them, while the leaders get directed down to the podium ceremony. But, a few happy campers down there. It's great for Michelis as well. You know, he's got put into the factory Yas Honda team this year, and he started off the year absolutely blindingly fast, and you know, he was one of the tips for sort of leading the team. You know, for out-and-out speed, he got no pressure on him. He started the season really well. He seems to have lost his way from mid-season, you know, going into the latter half, and you're wondering whether he's lost his mojo or whatever. So maybe this win will reinvigorate him, you know, give him his mojo back. And but it's great because he's a lovely lad as well. You know, he's got no side to him. He just gets on with the job. Even when his day's not going well, he always gets out the car and gives you a smile, or you know. So he's there won't be a more popular win here.
Yeah, he's pleased to be there, isn't he, Norby Michelis? And you're absolutely right. Started off the year with 2 third-place finishes. He's got a further 4 podiums thereafter. 3 third-place finishes and a second place. He's also got a brace of disqualifications from Marrakesh. But Norby Michelis now with his first opportunity to stand on the top step.
Maybe it's his new designer stubble he's been working on.
Yeah, cutting edge. If you look, it tends to go well.
It's a bit of a patchwork quilt, though.
Yeah, the part, be the part. And Japanese fans will appreciate the Honda win here at Twin Ring Motegi.
Well, you've made everybody very, very happy, Norby. You did it! You won here, home ground in Motegi. Congratulations, what a race.
Thanks, it's just unbelievable. After missing on race week last year, I was focusing a lot. I had a good start, and I think that was the key for today's performance. I would like to thank all of my teammates, Tiago, Rob. They were doing a perfect job, so for the second half of the race I could rest a bit. And I would like to say thanks to all the team, because you see with 80 kilograms of ballast, we managed to win a race again, and I think we did a very competitive lap time, so really promising for the future, I have to say.
It truly is. I mean, you guys were anxious looking into the weekend, and like you say, 80 kilograms ballast. Were you aware of the Citroën slowly coming up the pack behind you?
Yeah, because on every lap I had some conversations with Chizo, my engineer. He was telling me lap by lap what's happening behind, so I was aware. At one point I had to push a bit, and I think it was 4 laps to the end, but finally it was enough to keep leading.
Now you can celebrate. Well, let's look for main race first. Well done, Norby. Congratulations.
Norby Michelis obviously over the moon there. And Tiago Montero coming along to congratulate him. What's that do to the Drivers' Championship? Jose Maria Lopez still top of the tree. Tiago Montero takes a few points out of him, but not many. Rob Huff is up to 3rd place. Ivan Muller 4th. Norby Michelis now 5th, ahead of Mehdi Banani's Citroën. You can see.
It would actually be a good championship if Lopez was it. Not that you don't want him here, but you know, from second back, it's super close.
Yeah, past Jose Maria Lopez, eh? But you're absolutely right. Really close racing, and championship further back.
Okay, the Hondas had a few points taken them off them back. We get back to Hungary with a discrepancy over the flat floor, but that's racing and that's pushing the boundaries.
Opening race here at Twin Ring Motegi, won by Norby Michelis. He got a textbook start away from the line and was never challenged. Further back, Jose Maria Lopez and Ivan Muller in the walls. They battled their way through to 4th and 5th. And Ted Bjork, Nicky Katzberg were in the mix early on, but went backwards as the race progressed. And a few bits of paint being traded between the 3 marks I've just mentioned, but at the end of the day, it's who on home territory. There is the classification, and Bjorgen Katzberg shuffled down to 6th and 7th. Chilton recovered to 8th after having a tough first lap where it just didn't work for him after a really good start down into turn 1. Girolami was slow off the line, and the Argentine, who's really been the star of the practice sessions and qualifying to a certain extent, didn't really feature as we thought he would, but